So I guess our first question is why is this important? I guess in this era of trust is down in terms of business and government, and can you speak to this in the state of things in the areas of B Corps and your work with the Southern Colorado Impact Group maybe is part of that too, but just kind of asking that quick question of why is the purpose driven economy important at this time?
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. I think let's start with that trust piece. And just to give everybody an example of what we're talking about here is that trust is down. We're actually in what researchers are calling a trust crisis or a trust deficit. Prior to COVID, just on average, you would see that from the standpoint of where consumers would be, they would be 4 out of 10 Americans wouldn't trust what they would hear. So they wouldn't trust what they would hear from a politician, from social media, from media in general, a business. They just wouldn't believe it. And now, currently, kind of where we sit is about 7 to 8 out of 10 Americans don't trust what they hear. So that's the majority of Americans. So if we're at 70 to 80% of Americans don't trust things, that's a huge problem from an economic perspective. So people aren't going to spend money when they don't trust businesses. They're not going to do things when leaders tell them to do certain things. And so it's actually a major problem. And so I think trust, number one, is more important than ever. We got to think of trust as a new form of currency. I think the second part to that, as it relates to these purpose driven businesses, people want to do business with organizations that align with their values.